Homesick by A Day to Remember is a fantastic album. For me, it is a modern rock masterpiece, and in this video I'm going to be exploring why that is the case. Because really, this is a bit of a unique thing. This is the first time I'd ever heard someone really execute brilliantly a combination of heavy-ass rock music with scream vocals and breakdowns with pop-punk melody and song compositions. That meld together totally works. I mean, it's brutal scream vocals, but then that combination I just think is magic. I never noticed how many times in this album they would have just backing vocals, but it creates that gorgeous harmony in the choruses. And I think this is an incredible record. So what I'm going to do today is listen to the entire thing from start to finish in an active way, breaking down and analyzing as many of the details I can find in it sonically that contribute to this being an incredible album. Anything I find that is really notably of interest, I'm going to edit them together into a highlights video that you'll find on YouTube. Otherwise, if you want the entire unedited listen through with all the commentary and details, you can find that on my Patreon page after the fact. Now, I'm really looking forward to this one because no matter how many times I listen to this album over the years, I don't get sick of it. I think it is phenomenal. And I've not really actively listened to it the same way I do my reaction videos on my channel in a very long time. Like, what actually are they doing guitar-wise, production-wise, melody-wise that make this so satisfying to listen to? We're going to find that out today. Now, this album came out in 2009. It's 40 minutes long. This is a short one, relatively speaking, in terms of albums. It's got 12 tracks on it. The first track here, 233 million listens on Spotify. That's not too shabby. Okay, I think that's everything I need to say before we get into this. Yeah, let's check it out. I mean, the other thing is that they're releasing new music at the time of this recording. They've released a couple of new singles, so it makes me want to re-listen to their older stuff as a sort of point of comparison and see where that journey might have led them as well. But without further ado, here's Homesick from start to finish, starting with The Downfall of Us All, which I was about to say, let's all sing together now, but it's just me in the studio, so we're not going to do that. Obviously, this album starts with gang vocals mimicking the musical breakdown intro that happens. And that's just such a joyous way to set the tone of this album. It's a bit of a wink, bit of fun, understanding the jolliness that is heavy double kick pedal moments. So, here we go. And go. With the hand clap to let you know where you are.
Let's go!
Now, it's 2009. Production is not what it is today. And I can already hear that. It's pretty raw. Small detail I'm already going to point out here. When they go into the chorus, there's an extra sound of like a boom, which gives the chorus more impact. This is something they've done now and then. Sometimes they'll use like breaking glass to make a breakdown even heavier. See if you can pick this up. When we go to the chorus, the very first beat has an extra like boom below it. So we go sub. Lovely clean moment. All the music drops out to give the vocals a moment to shine. Back into the intro. So pretty textbook song structure here. Satisfying in a pop-punk way. Now, another small detail. We got scream vocals going on, right? This is the first time really they've come in strong in this album. We're only a minute and a half in. But there's a jaunty guitar lick underneath, which is super pop-punk. To brighten it up. It brightens it up. Love the gang vocals. Great for live shows as well. Whole crowd. And half the time there's harmonies, which really helps the melodies. An extra vocal hook in there. Again, that extra boom on the first hit. Got the gang vocals. And the boom throughout. So good. There's a slight, like it's gang vocals, so it's just a bunch of lads yelling out, but there's a slight scream, like guttural at the end. That last was fun. Harmonized rhythm guitars in this bit. Jaunty. Drums and rhythm guitars and bass all locked into the same. It's the gaps in the riffs that make it so catchy. Really subtle. And then we might find them do this a few times this album. It's a very bright melodic lead vocal, but there's a scream underneath it just for that one bit. Just go live. Let's hear that. Really subtle in there. Gives it a bit of depth. So catchy. And hitting that high note there. But there's scream vocals underneath, almost all of it. Again, the gaps. The lovely harmony there. Gang vocals. Harmony here to lift it up. Extra vocal there after the fact, echoing it with a different melody. Multi-layered vocals. Oh, the breakdown's coming. Got a marching snare, sporadic, and then constant. The kicks. They're so good at callouts before breakdown. I mean, I think the most famous one is coming up in this one, right? I think it's Disrespect Your Surroundings. I think that's on this album. I can't remember. But This Is a Battleground is such a rally cry before what's presumably a wall of death. It's about to go. Amazing. Let's hear that bit again. Powerful. This is a battleground. Multi-track screams on that. That's not just one. Again, lead vocal. But a scream underneath it to add a little bit of body. Subtle. Really cool combination there. Right. I'm made of wax, Larry. What are you made of? I think this is one of my favorite songs of theirs to play on drums. It's so fucking fun. So catchy, the vocals already. Just drums with a flam. Guitars tease in. It's the push beats as well. Comes in early. That early repetition of the melody makes it catchier. There's also backing vocal ahs in this, which is a lovely detail that I think if you're not looking to make really catchy melodic sort of pop punk things in the metal universe, you wouldn't think about at all. But there are vocals in here literally just going ah in the background, and it's not guitars, which you could use, they're vocals. And there's something special about the combination of voices and the harmony of that brightens things up. So try and see if you can, I'll try and point out the notes that they're singing. There's a bit of those melodies, but there's also some just holding the notes. Beautiful. brutal scream vocals, but then that combination I just think is magic. I've never noticed that before. The ahs, the backing vocals totally makes that. I noticed that bit before, but because they could have used guitar, but they didn't. The bass shining here. You know the brutal breakdown's coming. So sorry. I know I pulled the rug out from that breakdown coming in. But I didn't also notice the gang. They love using gang vocals way more than I've ever noticed before. The gang vocals in here go up into this breakdown. Let's see if we can find that. They're kind of just chanting along and then... I mean, what a brilliant call out before breakdown. And then brutal. Also, nice dynamic variety in the scream vocals. We're going from up to low to up. Makes it interesting rather than just the same note throughout. There's a lovely lead guitar bit here, but it's not just a single note. This is it's at least a 2-finger power chord. Let me try and pick out the notes of it. Like it's just doing a sort of counter melody. There's layers to this that delight all kinds of points. Do you know what I've never noticed before? Oddly. So obviously we've got the like brutal scream vocal moment to close the song out. But obviously there's the more comical one where they sustain the scream for a lot longer. That I'd noticed before. But it sounds to me like they've recorded that moment in the studio recording room where they're listening back to the track, because you can hear music underneath it that sounds almost like there's a radio in the background. So maybe there's one of them listening along to a take that just taken, and for fun adding a longer thing, and they happen to record that at the same time and kept it in, because there's a bit of a beat behind this. First one's out. You can hear this music underneath that as he's saying motherfuckers, whatever he's doing. That's them listening to a song for fun in the studio. Can't tell if it's the same song as we just heard here, but cool. Again, if you're actively listening to this with no distracting sounds of your commute or whatever it is, these, and with good headphones, these are details you can pick out that they're fine. Like, I've never noticed that before in the fucking bad maths at the moment. 16 years that I've listened to this album. Cool. It's those bright pop melodies. Or some gang vocals. Subtle though. Gaps in the riffs, harmonies, lovely lead guitar bit. It's just ear candy. Harmony throughout. All push beats. Tasty little drum fill moments as well. They don't overstay their welcome. The drumming is a big reason why this album and this band hits the way they do in songs like this. They are serving the song. You can clearly do mad double kicks and, you know, chaos and busy fills, but largely letting everything else shine and have its moment. That's why it's so effective. Lovely lead guitar part there. Just a subtle layer. So many vocal tracks. And a lovely ring out here. A couple of chords there that are harmonizing with each other to give it a sort of broad depth. Wake up! Another fun call out. Wake up. Just the sparing cymbals. But ringing out a sort of palm mute, tricky balance. It's the most metal moment in this album so far. And a catchy chorus. And another moment, like there was a song a couple songs ago where you have a lead vocal part and then they echo it with a backing vocal, so then they sort of loop over each other. It's such a cool like pop thing to do, and it totally works. So the vocals often starting before the previous vocal ends. They overlap. Makes it hard to sing along to. Because you have to pick a line. Little scream to finish. Here's Disrespect to Surroundings. Disrespect your surroundings. So good. Oh, and this. It's like, it's a comical bell hit. That's not done because like, this would be a fucking sick ass heavy thing. That's like, wouldn't it be fun if? And so much of this album has moments like that. It's kind of wouldn't be fun. Oh, fuck it. Let's just throw this in. Like, why not? It's delightful. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. Even though they're taking a lot of it seriously, like the harmonies and the melodies and things. The way they're layering these songs together is done very particularly, but they're also having fun with it. I think that combination totally works. You won't make it out alive. Two vocals lapping there. You won't make it out alive. You won't make it out alive. You won't make it out alive. Gorgeous here. Lovely guitar effects. A bit more clean sounding. An interesting detail there. It's almost like the sound of wind as it transitions into the next bit. I wonder what that's for. Different drum production in this. It's more distant somehow. And that more subdued vocal delivery. They've got dynamic levels of energy that they can use to make things more interesting and express a different tone within the same song. It's very cool. Oh, this next song is beautiful. Beautiful. Have faith in me. Drums. The reason that works is because of accents. Because if you just go like the same hit each time, it's gonna feel like a marching, just like very uninteresting. It's like those extra harder hitting moments gives it a sort of wave-like feel to it. Makes it much more interesting to listen to. Also hints at the sort of rhythmic feel of the song to come. And then the bass comes in on the kicks. And it waits for the kick that shifts there as well. Another kind of subdued vocal delivery here, matching the vibe at the end of the previous song. pop. The harmony. Love the way that chorus comes in. It's a 3-note intro because the melody starts before the end of the previous segment. And then when you know that's coming, we know the song is so satisfying. You're like, everybody, I've never let you down. Then you come in harder than one. Love the way that melody's formed. Then they repeat that pattern with a harmony too. And then we're into more pop punk. It's just drums, vocals, guitars, and bass. That's it. Pretty straightforward. I mean, this is like a sad sort of melodic ballad of a song, but there's still scream vocals in it. There's scream vocals underneath that moment there. Here too, screaming under that. And then the gang. Little gap in the rhythm too, which is satisfying. Little gaps. Created an interesting dynamic. And again, there's backing vocals that are just ahs in this. Like in the background here. This though, this is one of my favorite moments of the entire album. This fucking section, the gaps in the riffs, but also the vocals and the drums. You got me on the outside looking at, like that rhythm is really satisfying, but the guitars. And then there's a harmony. They got me on the outside. Oh, it just gets tastier as it goes on. And again, the echo. And a scream vocal underneath. So gorgeous in the layers. That's glorious. You just let the guitar ring out using a delay effect, and then nothing comes in until the vocals. I said I'd never let you go. And straight in with a like it's beautiful. I never noticed how many times in this album they would have just backing vocals, but it creates that gorgeous harmony in the choruses. Like a vocal chord. Fucking gang vocals to really hype it up. Yeah, back to a much heavier moment. I wonder how much of this was, listen, we've just done this like soft, ballad-like song. We gotta hit them with something heavy afterwards. And then maybe that's why this track happens next. Oh, I've waited for this day to come. There's just something about you that rubs me wrong. You're not worth my attention. I won't forget the days that we spent forever. There's a piano in this, I think. Going da 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 da. You've known about me, scarred forever. I won't forget the days that we spent forever. There's definitely a piano. Never noticed that before. It will be love before you miss your ring. Building up to a breakdown. Heavy ass scrapes. We slow down though. Lovely smooth tempo change. Gradual. These breakdowns, I think what helps, these breakdowns make me feel like the badass that I'm not. I'm so not someone who you'd ever find in a mosh pit going like, fucking move. But I pretend I am in my head as I'm listening to these things. It's fun. You speed up. Nice gradual but short transition. And an interesting sound effect there. Boom. We got heartbeat. It's a long outro for a heartbeat. I don't think I've ever noticed the heartbeat before. It's not actually that subtle, but I'd never noticed that. Title track is like punk rock. Lovely harmony there. Some ahs in the background. Tempo shift. Lovely harmonies high up there. Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's a lovely wind up back into the punk. Back to a snare with some accents. Oh, lovely film. And like choir boys going, oh, like in the background here. Lovely dynamic back and forth. You got the bass and drum, and also probably a rhythm guitar as well, and then just ringing out on another guitar. Lovely. 2 guitars in that point. Yeah, harmonized there. Interesting detail there. They've decided on those vocals, as it's coming into I'm holding on, you get like a like there's a few voices just rushing into the sound here. Like ghosts just coming at you. Lovely. Almost like Blink-182 would do. Additional vocal line wasn't here earlier in the song. Lovely. Every song is a banger. Every one. Yeah, it's a lovely pace they go for. It's kind of like meaningful pop punk pace. Yeah, hot muted downbeat. So this. So jaunty. Interesting. So like other songs in this album, they'll have a lyric, melody, and then they'll have an echo of it after the fact. But this one, they've done a little bit of different production on it. It makes it a thinner, higher, brighter echo. We've not done that production earlier on. Halftime. Lovely harmonies throughout. Consistent scream note. That dynamic shift is wonderful. Heavy guttural. Come on, come on. Almost Tom DeLonge-like in the delivery. Teasing the breakdown to come.
I am the greatest faith that falls. I turn my back and you keep the walls.
So simple. It's the same note, same chord. It's all about the rhythm. And again, they've added another boom here. There's an extra boom, like a low sub boom to give a little bit extra gravitas to that next section coming in. Tidy ending. And you got the buzz of, oh my god. Some people won't even know what that is, I've just realized. Fuck. There would be a time where if you had speakers on and you were about to get a text message or you were about to get a phone call, you'd hear in your speakers before the text comes in, and you felt like you were somehow, you had a sixth sense because you knew it was coming. They've added that sound in here. Another pop punk catchy chorus. So many backing vocal ahs. The harmony. That's a delightful detail. Tempo slow. Ugh. Those pregnant pauses. Or ring outs. Fun. That's all you need. 1 minute 27. So pop punk. The bass though. Harmony. Little scream vocal underneath this. Very subtle. And again, there's small texture details. There's a guitar going just to add another bit of harmonious layer in the chorus. Scream vocal underneath that bit too. Low harmony here. Nice. That's glorious. Like the fucking, the amount of ahs back it up. Who helped with that? It's so good. Another echo. Nice lead guitar moment. Lovely layer. Lovely that pop punk style ending with an extra like low sub boom just to give it a bit of heavy weight. And then we let it ring out. And then this next song, such a sing-along live. Two guitar part at least, acoustic. Got the chords. But there's a harmony on top of that one. Pushed beats within.
In hate time.
Two acoustic guitar takes, one left, one right. Slightly different strums on them. And a lead part coming in. No harmonies, just one vocal. Palm muted on the lead guitar part. Lead acoustic. Subdued harmony delivery. Harmonized there as well. Great voice service this is. Gives it a sort of call and answer conversation. Sierra K apparently is the vocalist there. And then full bands teasing in. With distorted electric guitars. A full crowd sing along. Gang vocals, of course. Just strumming on the downbeats. Lead guitar comes in over the top. Ah! Great vocal delivery on that. And this. Sorry to pause it, but that I think the female vocalist has done a high harmony on that Home, and it's fucking amazing. Like, I mean, I obviously did not nail that, but she's way up on that note. The delivery is fantastic. You hear a bit of a squeak as she gets into it. So nice. Oh, and then just a subtle bit of reverb closing that out. What a fucking album. What an album. So why is it so good? Why is it a masterpiece? I've learned a couple things about this that I think contribute to it. Right? My expectation going in, understanding the album as I did before, it is a great combination of pop punk, sort of melody, brightness, and heaviness from scream vocals and breakdowns. But actually, the third element that really executes this thing well is the harmonious layering within it. Now, it's very simple in its makeup. It's drums, it's bass, it's guitar. There's a few different guitar parts, and it's vocals. That's it, right? There's no electronics on in there. There are some moments of just like a sub-drop going boom to make a little heavier transition into some new sections that are heavy and large in sound. But otherwise, it is the addition of things like the fucking backing vocals recorded into choruses, mostly, that add that additional cushion of vocal harmony, which help a catchy melody land even more so and make it even more satisfying. And I'd say half of these songs at least have those moments in them, but they're so subtle as to not be noticed until you're actually paying attention actively and think, what are the layers that build this thing up? And it's an interesting choice because it is different from just adding another guitar part, which they could do, just going no, 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 no. But there's something special about the voice. Vocal harmony is something that we just can't help but pay attention to because it requires human beings in parallel to be working together on the same thing in an obviously human way. And there's something very connective about that. I think that's where this album emotionally will grab people in as well. So that's fucking fantastic. But it does also happen in the guitars. There's lead guitar parts, very subtle lead parts that are in there in chorus lines, or kind of lead chords, like 2-note power chords, like on the higher notes. Just to add a little bit of ear candy, there's vocal harmonies on the lyrics as well, or there's echo moments afterwards. And that's the stuff that really makes it. And it's a beautiful dynamic balance between heaviness and those lighter melodic moments. And even then, in those moments that are quite light and bright, they'll add a screen vocal underneath subtly, like very quiet, but to add a little bit of power and oomph behind maybe an important line here and there. So there's actually, for what is relatively simple in terms of the production within this album, and a simple makeup of it's rock band music, fucking drums, guitars, and vocals, there is a lot of consideration gone to the layering in this that make the melodies hit harder than they would otherwise do and give you that kind of satisfying reception of these songs. They all bang, but there's also a bit of journey within there. And to have that epic ending of If It Means a Lot to You leaves you with a very memorable experience at the end of that, thinking you haven't just listened to a collection of pop, punk, fucking metal bangers, but you've learned something along the way. Not really, but more that you've got something grander out of it at the end. That last flavor makes you think, hey man, there's some depth to this band. Let me listen to that again. That's part of it as well, I think. But Homesick by A Day to Remember, I don't have to do the rating. I don't know why I'm doing this, but sure, we're going to bring this in just to visually highlight. That is a masterpiece album to me. It is so carefully put together, actually, but the melody writing is tremendous. It is so catchy and satisfying to sing along to, which is a key ingredient of this band, especially with the live gigs. You want to have music that people want to sing along to. And they've got excellent call-outs before breakdown moments, which are delightful. And you want those moments as well if you're going to be in a heavy kind of metalcore band. Those totally work, but there's also a bit of a wink. There's a bit of levity to it. Disrespect your surroundings is a ridiculous thing to say. We all know what it means. It's a jaunty version of like, get the fuck up. It's like, mosh, essentially. And that combination of a bit of depth, bit of levity, harmonies, and heaviness is like life. There's all of this within all of us. You can't just have one flavor of thing or emotion from start to finish across an album. It'd be uninteresting. So dynamic interest, harmony, subtle harmony layers within the mix and the songwriting here make Homesick by A Day to Remember a fucking masterpiece.